everyone, my name is Kristin Hayes and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I'm going to show you how to make 3 cards today, building upon an idea on each one. So this is the simplest one, and then we're going to just step it up a notch and then step it up one more notch so you can see how easy it is to take one idea and spread it out into different levels. So we're going to make all 3 cards today, but we're going to start with the simplest one. So I have a piece of thick Whisper White. I like to use the thick for card bases and tags just to give it a little more structure. And this is cut at 8.5 by 5.5, and I did score it at 4 1/4. So then our next piece is going to be a piece of Blackberry Bliss, and this is cut at 5 3/8 by 4 1/8, and we're just going to layer that on to our base using some snail. Alright, let's see if I can line that up. Alright, there we go. We'll put that aside. And then the piece we're working with is a piece of Whisper White, and it's 5 1/4 by 4. So the first thing we're going to do is ink up our stem. And we're going to use mint macaron, and we're just going to ink that up. And it is slanted a little bit, which I like. You can straighten it out. It's just tiny, tiny slant to it, curve. Okay, so then we're going to put the leaves on. And this is, oh, I didn't even tell you, this is all from a set called Varied Vases, and this set is continuing in the annual catalog coming up. And then it also has a coordinating set. We're not using this piece today, but I wanted to show it to you, called Varied Vases, and there is a punch that goes with it, which I'll show you when we get to that step. So now we're going to add in some leaves, and I'm just going to ink up the leaf, and I'm going to start at the base of the stem and just curve it out a little bit, and then do that to the other side as well. And then we're just going to go up a little bit, and this time I don't want the leaf to stick out quite as far, so I'm going to angle it a little bit more on my stem. And then we're going to do that to the other side as well. Let's see, get it in right like I want it. There we go. So then we're going to add the, I'm not good with flowers, believe it or not. I think this is a tulip, so we're going to, pretty sure it's tulip. We're going to ink that up in Blackberry Bliss, and we're just going to add it right to the end of the stem there. Alrighty, so then the last piece we need is the Birthday Wishes, and that we're going to do in Night of Navy. I'm just inking that up. And we're going to put it right across the middle of the flower, like that. So that's basically the whole card for this card. And we're going to take one of our bases, and then we're just going to snail that on, and the card is all set. So you can see it's very simple and easy, and honestly, out of the 3 cards I made, this one is my favorite. But I mean, obviously I like the other ones too, but this is just so simple and pretty. All right, so we'll put that one aside. And the next card we're going to do is the Birthday Wishes with the vase on it. So I'm going to stamp my vase first, and I'm going to stamp it in Night of Navy. And with the punch, this is our Vase Builder punch. So you can have 3 different sizes. You can also do the tulip and the leaf, but it's upside down. When I hold it, the vase is upside down. So what I like to do is stamp it upside down towards the bottom of my paper. This is just some scrap white that I have. So it's easy just to feed in to the punch at the end here. I hope you can see that. Alrighty. There we go. So we've got that. We'll put that aside. All right, so then we're going to do the stem and the leaves And the stem this time, I'm just going to clean this off from the last time I used it. I don't want as long of a stem that I did on this one because it just looked a little silly coming out of the vase. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of my Whisper White, same dimensions, 5 1/4 by 4. And this time when I ink up my stem, I'm only going to ink it up about halfway. And I'm just eyeballing it, and then I'm going to put it here in the center. And it's a little bit scraggly on the bottom, but that's okay. It's going to be hidden by the vase. So then we're going to do our leaves, and this time I want them a little bit higher up than I did so you can see them sticking out of the vase when we put it on. There we go. We're going to ink up the tulip and ink that up. There we go. And then all we're going to do with our vase is we're going to, before I put the vase on, let's do the birthday wishes so there's not dimension to the card. Sometimes it's hard to work around that. So this time we're going to put the birthday wishes up towards the top of the flower. There we go. And then we're going to come back with our vase. And I'm just going to use a dimensional for the back, just to pop it up a little bit. And then we're going to hide the base of that stem. And there we go. And I already have another piece. It's the same dimensions. The base is 8 1/2 by 5 1/2, scored at 4 1/4. And then the Blackberry Bliss is 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. So the same dimensions we used on the first one. Let's nail this up. And then we'll stick it right on there. And then we have a second card with just another added step to it. So then the last card we're going to do, I did a little more detailing on. So what I did is I used the rectangle stitched framelits. I just used 2 sizes. I ran them through the Big Shot. So I have the base is Blackberry Bliss, and then I have this piece of Whisper White that we're going to work on. And I prefer doing it through the Big Shot before I stamped. Now you can do it either way, but this way I knew the space I had to work with. So that made it a little bit easier for me. So the first thing I'm going to do is the birthday wishes towards the top and just ink that across. And then we're going to come in with the same little trick for our stem. Again, I only want it halfway. So I'm just using the side of my ink pad. I'm going to move that down a little so I have room for my flower. And again, don't worry too much about the ends of the stem because that one came out pretty good, but it's going to be hidden by the vase again. So then we're just going to add the leaves one more time on each side, like so. And then we're going to come in with our flower, like so. And I just did that Night of Navy. Alrighty, well, this one's going to be a Night of Navy flower. Alright, sometimes when you're working with a bunch of colors out, I tend to close them up when I'm working by myself each time, but that's all right. So this will be Night of Navy. And then we're going to ink the Night of Navy vase and punch that out again. Didn't want to go flying into an ink pad. All right, that scrap piece is pretty well used. Okay, so then we're going to use 1 dimensional for the back of this. And pop that on like so. And I guess I'll still use the Blackberry Bliss. It's still pretty. Even though the flower's native navy now, that's okay. At least it was a dark color and a dark color, so I didn't contaminate a light color ink pad. All right, so then this is our base again, same base with Blackberry Bliss, same dimensions for our piece of Whisper White, 5 1/4 by 4. This time we're not stamping on that piece, we're using it as a base piece. All right, line that up. Then we'll pop this one on here. Whoop. And then we'll pop it right in the middle. Now you could have even stepped this up another notch and done some embossing on the back piece, but I just like the simplicity of how this came out. So there is the final card with a different colored tulip, but we live with it. And then here are all of our cards that we made. Very quick and simple, but I think they're very pretty. I hope you agree. All of my links will be listed down below, and if you're not already working with the Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I'd love a chance to work with you. Thank you for watching.